Hello everyone, Stalbert here. First of all, I would like to say I am very much appreciated that people had enjoyed my recent story about Ash and Serena. I'm really surprised how much people enjoyed that shipping. I would always like to say that Serena and Ash are in fact one of my top favorite shippings. After all, Serena is the only one that had kissed Ash. Well, as far as we know, and I even said, seen one of the comments that Travis Bell asked me to do some other love stories again. I mean, a lot of stories this time about Mega Man from the Mega Man franchise game series. But unfortunately, I won't be able to do a Mega Man love story. The true reason is that I never made it. I never played any of those Mega Man games before. I don't know much about the games, I don't know much about the characters, but I do know who Mega Man is. I have seen him and even seen several of parody stories about Mega Man. And so I'm sadly not won't be able to do those love stories. And another thing is that Trixie, like Midnight Trixie, had asked me to do perhaps another few stories as well, and like a few more Pokemon Zero love stories, like based on Eevee's evolution, which would not be any problem. And but yeah, there is a lot of stories that he had asked me to do about. There is, for example, since Travis had asked me about a few weeks ago that he asked me to do several love stories based on um, Transformers and Sakurai crossover. I can tell that I had made almost every of his requests from that part. Almost like could have been 5 to 6 stories left, something like that. And trust me, it was a lot of work since I didn't know much about the Sakurai anime show and about even some about the Halo characters. So I had to read up some of them. Yeah, but yeah, that was actually one of the differently what of stories I had made in the past. Since after all, I was almost worked on 5 years on my channel about this love story, so I'm get used to this. And even did actually made, I think when I was being on Tuesday this week or this last week when I start working, I made 5 stories in one day, which is a personal record. Normally, I probably do maybe 1 or 2 stories of each day, but 5 as audio, yeah. And even from consider from this, I would probably have to mention this. I was considering, and I think was considering, to replace all the love stories, all true friend stories, with audio only. So if every those stories had been asked to be text and music, would have been replaced with only as audio. You may ask why. Well, to save up some of time. But considering the font was only as a thought. But I didn't go through that plan though. I cannot do it. I mean, considering that there were some people who didn't like with me as an audio stories, they preferred with text and music. And I do actually follow people's request, of course, and even respect their wishes that only prefer with text and music. But there had been a few stories that I had to be removing for the past year or so to do some remaking of them with different music. There had been a few stories that I had to replace with different music. Well, mostly because that in the past I used music from different shows or movies which were eventually to be copyright, but I removed those stories with no problem. But now I have at least stories that have been taken care of. And but yeah, there is at least one other update I wanted to tell, that the other stories that have been not as non-My Little Pony based love stories and true friend stories will be posted in one separate list. I mean, I made like a list on YouTube where I placed all my true love stories of My Little Pony in one. And since I had made several true friend and true love stories based on other different shows like Wings Club, Sonic games like that, for example, place them in a different list. So all of them, with including true friend dating videos from different other shows, and not which based on true My Little Pony, will all be placed in one separate list. And this was actually asked me by Beat Night Trixie if I would separate or put all the other stories I had made, which not based on My Little Pony, in one separate list. And I thought, why not? But that was just one tiny problem. Considering how many love stories and how many videos I had made over the past uh, almost 11 years, about almost at least over 1,000 videos, and considering also how to remember each single love story, those not based on the love true from a pony, it was a big challenge. So I didn't take care of that. My girlfriend Andrea, she took care of that, which I asked her if she could do it, and she did. So no problem taking care of that. And also, thank you, Midnight Trixie, for the idea. I really appreciate it. And but yeah, since after I had taken care of Travis, the last stories that he had asked for, I will taking care of some other ideas from stories that I had been postponed for quite a while. It could have been a few actually, but yeah, there is part of the stories that I probably would have to been, well, taking care of first though. And for this one of the stories that Travis did ask me were Sailor Moon ponies. And yes, they are actually official characters from the My Little Pony show, yes. But they were only seen most, they actually been seen both in the show and in the comics. But I had to mention it was a little bit tricky to find some of those fan-made characters on from the show, or at least one of those official characters. Since I prefer not to use any um, pictures of from official show that has been on TV or in comics. The reason is why that Hasbro might be detect that, and I had to remove those stories and had to remake those stories all over again. So so I had to look up on different sites like Google, DeviantArt, and other few places as far as I know. But it was very close that I was almost giving up. That I was almost was thinking to give up finding anything about those particular love stories. Until I did in fact found at least only perhaps one or two fan made picture or drawing of those particular characters. But I cannot say how much intense work it was because it was quite a search. It truly was. I mean, there were a lot of stories that characters I probably hadn't thought never would be able to do. But yeah, and ends before I end. Like I said, Travis had asked me to do some like other few love stories, and wow, it was a lot. Yeah, but sadly though, I won't be able to do any of those love stories based on Mega Man because I never played in those games don't know much about the characters, and if you hear this, Travis, I'm very much sorry about that. I mean, I'm not upset. I'm not that. I do understand you want to do those stories that we make, but to try to realize that how much story that I have put on from different from a few weeks to a few months, perhaps even like over a year or so, it takes a lot of time to make these stories that have been asked for. And there is even some other things that I have planned to do so. But I can grant it to be mentioned that I'm almost done with those first stories you had asked me to do, which I'm very much glad to be admit it took some research about the different characters on different games and shows. So I'm really much, very much happy to be considering from those stories that we make soon. And I probably will continue to work on at least a few more of those that's really left. And after that, I probably will go back to my normal stores again. But yeah, there is all about to mention though in this particular video. And but I do hope that everyone has very much a great day and staying safe during this world crisis going on. But Travis, I'm sorry about if I cannot do Mega Man, that Stories franchise, from based on the games, and a few others which I really don't know much about this game. Even I did read down somewhat about the games and so or the characters. And I'm sorry if I can't. I do understand if you don't feel much. I mean, feeling that I don't want to do so, but it is just that it takes time to make those particular stories. I mean, I have so much stories to take care of for the past 2 years, and I want to make able to do some my own stories as well. And like I said in a previous video, I only would do stories that I can that I knew about, at least on the characters or some about the game or the show itself. So as for now, I will only take care of your stories for now. Those are left, and after that, work on my own stories again. But I do hope that you understand, Travis. I really hope that you will enjoy the stories I have made so far. But yeah, and stay safe, everyone. And this is all I for now to say for now. And as always, stay safe. And it's all for Switch Diablo for today.